And thank you so much for having us both here today. Of course, want to acknowledge and thank each and every one of you for being here, for giving up your time and your resource and your energy in support of an outstanding cause, which is, of course, all about the world game and our local football clubs. In that respect, I want to, of course, acknowledge John Pesutto, my very good friend from the other side, but we're united on a unity ticket for football as the co-chairs of the Parliamentary Friends of Football. Dr. Angela Williams, the Chair of Football Victoria, Dan Birrell, the CEO, Lachlan Cole, who you've just heard from as well, and all the Football Victoria reps who are here, by the way, as well. There's Karen Pearce, Josephine, Billy Selesky, who I used to play with as well. I just bumped into. There's so many of you that we thank you and acknowledge as well. But most importantly, all of you as representatives from our local clubs. Look, I'm delighted to be here. My name's Anthony Cianflone. I'm the State Member of Parliament for Pascoe Vale. Very proud to be here in that capacity, and I'm very proud to represent a community that has a lot of iconic local clubs, including Brunswick Zebras, and Cuddle is here, I acknowledge, Brunswick Juventus, Brunswick City, Moreland City, Pascoe Vale as well, who are my key local clubs. I'm here as well as someone who's a proud member of the Victorian government, which is absolutely committed to football. We've delivered this home of Matildas and home of football. The first time in this state's history, football finally has a genuine home. I grew up playing for the state team a long time ago, and we used to train in all sorts of different locations all the time, at the back of the Albert Park pits, at Northcote City, at Brunswick Ulver back in, we did not have a genuine home as football. The head office was in Dorcas Street. The game was spread out all over the state. Finally now, with this $110 million facility, which is the biggest investment any government in Australia has made into a single football facility, we finally have a home in Victoria, which all of you, the entire football ecosystem, can benefit from as we are today. But I'm even more proud and humbled to be here and involved as someone who's a lifelong person growing up playing the game. I grew up playing the game. I played for Brunswick Ulver, Essendon Royals, Heidelberg Bulleen, the state team. I've lived and breathed this game my whole life in many respects. I was a goalkeeper, so don't hold that against me. But it treats you well for politics because you get remembered usually for the fumbles, not so much for the big saves, you know. But my point is, I love the game through and through. I love politics, of course, but I love football just as much. And in my time, and John and I have been talking just the other day as well, we're doing everything we can to promote the game through this establishment of the Parliamentary Friends of Football Victoria. The Victorian Parliament was established in 1856, right? It's a long time ago. Never before have we had a Parliamentary Friends of Football. This is the first time we've established it, where there's Parliamentary Friends of AFL, cricket, all sorts of codes and sport, and that's fine, that's great. We love all those sports. But why has it taken so long to have a Parliamentary Friends of Football? That's what we've delivered in partnership with Football Victoria, because we genuinely believe the time has well and truly come for football to be elevated to the highest levels of government and to the corridors of power, and to be treated with the same respect as every other code has. The time has come for football, and that's what this Parliamentary Friends of group is about, because no other sport, honestly, can unite communities, countries and nations like football. We've got a World Cup this year. We've got an Asian Cup. We've seen how Australia got behind the Matildas during the recent World Cup, the highest ever viewed match in Australian television history, period, of any thing ever screened on Australian TV. Matildas is number one. Nothing can unite the world like football. And in Victoria, we are burgeoning in growth. 400,000 participants. We're the biggest sport, grassroots sport. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We're the biggest grassroots sport in Victoria. 400,000 participants, 127,000 registered players, record numbers this year. Almost 60% growth in 2 years, and 120% of that growth has been women and girls because of the Matildas and because of the home of the Matildas and what the women are doing for our game. So that's why we've established the group. We've established and launched a facility strategy which calls on government to help recognise the need for new grounds, facilities, lights, pitches, resources for the clubs. And we're in the process, as of today, of launching as well a new parliamentary petition. Again, the first time we're launching a dedicated petition that we're going to be asking all of you throughout our grassroots communities to spread the word through your members, your clubs. Let's make it the biggest petition the Victorian Parliament has ever seen. I reckon we can do it and really launch that message. And off the back of that, we're going to be extending an invitation to all of you and all of your club representatives to a huge week-long football festival in Parliament during the first week of March. The keynote event will be on the Wednesday, where we're going to be talking about the petition and all of the priorities, which is going to be around this Level the Playing Field campaign that Lachlan will talk to you about shortly as well. But of course, in combination with all that, just before I hand over to John, today is just as important, because as we build the advocacy, we've got to build the resources of all of you at the local clubs and at the grassroots level, because you are, as volunteers, the heartbeat of the football community. Without you, the game stops. Doesn't matter what government can do or doesn't do or wants to do. If there's no volunteers, the whole game stops. So I honestly thank you and all of your coaches and all of your volunteers involved at your local clubs. And today you're going to be taken through, I can see, a really comprehensive day of training and support around social media, facility usage, development pathways, gender equality, things around family violence prevention, gambling harm, supporting our coaches, club budgets, but most importantly, I think, John, the one that I thought was the most noteworthy was dispute resolutions, which I think we need probably to get a session of at Parliament for, between the Labor and the Liberals as well. So, look, on that note, I want to thank you for having me, but before I hand over to John, I have one really last formality I just want to do. It's a token of my appreciation for both John and also Dan from FFV. This is an official record of the Hansard of our parliamentary contribution in launching the Friends of Football that I want to hand over to keep as a record. So thank you. Yeah.